You've watched every productivity video, tried Pomodoro, dopamine detoxes, waking up at 5 a.m. But the second you sit down to work, it still feels like dragging yourself through wet concrete. Meanwhile, some people genuinely enjoy the grind. Are they just built different? Here's the irony. Work feels like torture not because you're lazy, but because you've been training your brain to hate effort your entire life. 99% of people spend decades stuck in this loop, NPC mode, doing what they're told, burning out, quitting, never realizing they were playing a game rigged against them from the start. But there's a neurological cheat code elite performers use, often without knowing it: the Lotus Method. Once you install it, hard work stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like power. Before I show you the method, you need to understand why your brain is broken in the first place. And it's not what you think. Here's what most people do. They wake up, scroll their phone for an hour, eat breakfast in a daze, then expect their brain to switch into beast mode. That's like loading into a boss fight without letting the game assets fully load. Your system crashes before you even start. Here's why. Deep inside your brain sits a region called the Anterior Mid-Cingulate Cortex, the aMCC. Neuroscientists call it the willpower muscle. And here's what's wild. This thing literally grows in size when you do things you don't want to do. Not metaphorically, physically, actual brain gains. But here's the cheat code. You can pre-activate it. Enter the cold boot protocol. Before any work session, run a 2-minute resistance ritual. Something your body resists, but your mind chooses. Splash cold water on your face. Drop and do 20 push-ups. Or attack the hardest microtask for just 120 seconds. The goal isn't the action itself. It's waking up your aMCC before the real work begins. You're booting up the willpower hardware before the game even starts. Now here's the bonus hack. Do this ritual at the exact same time every single day. Within weeks, your brain will automatically enter work mode before you even sit down. That's called habit stacking. You're installing autopilot for your discipline. But here's where 90% of people mess up even after they start working. They think the goal is to survive hard work. That's a trap. The real hack is making hard work feel like the reward itself. Here's a trap almost everyone falls into. You sit down to write an essay and think, I hate this, but if I finish, I can play games. Sounds logical. But you just programmed your brain to associate work with suffering every single time. Work equals pain. Reward equals pleasure. You're training yourself to hate effort. Top performers play a different game. They don't tolerate hard work. They've rewired their brains to release dopamine during the struggle, not after. The secret is timing. Your brain wires pleasure to whatever comes right before the dopamine hit. Here's the hack. Call it the internal XP system. Every time you feel resistance and push through, pause for 10 seconds. Consciously think, this feeling is the growth. The struggle is the reward. You're not waiting for pleasure after effort. You're teaching your brain that effort equals pleasure. Right now, in real time. But here's the critical rule. After completing hard work, do not immediately flood your brain with junk dopamine. No phone, no snacks, no games. Wait at least 20 to 30 minutes. Let the effort itself be the reward. This is non-negotiable for the rewiring to stick. Bonus hack? Create an effort anchor playlist, music you only listen to during deep work. Within weeks, your brain will start craving that playlist because it's wired to the satisfaction of struggle. Now your brain is starting to crave effort. But there's one final level, and this separates people who tolerate hard work from those who become addicted to growth. Here's the thing about your brain. It adapts fast. If challenges are too easy, you get bored. NPC mode, autopilot with zero growth. But if challenges are too hard, you get anxious and quit. Game over. The secret is staying in the stretch zone, always slightly above your current skill level. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi discovered something powerful. Humans enter flow, that addictive, time flies focus, when challenge and skill are precisely matched. In this state, your brain floods with dopamine, norepinephrine, and endorphins. It's the closest thing to a natural high, and it's completely hackable. Enter the 10% push rule. Whatever feels comfortable, add 10% more difficulty. Can focus for 25 minutes? Aim for 27. Studying 3 chapters? Push to 3.5. Small, constant escalation. Your brain adapts upward instead of flatlines. Track your edge. Write down what feels hard today. In 2 weeks, it'll feel easy. That's your cue to scale again. Now, here's the bonus hack. Once a week, run a boss rush session. Take on a challenge that feels 30% too hard. You might fail. That's the point. Your brain recalibrates its baseline for what counts as difficult. Suddenly, normal work feels like easy mode. You've patched your difficulty settings permanently. Cold boot, dopamine forge, difficulty scaling. This is the Lotus Method. And now you understand why it's called that. The lotus flower doesn't bloom despite the mud. It blooms because of it. It needs that darkness to grow. Your brain works the exact same way. Struggle isn't the enemy. It's the fertilizer. Let's run it back. Cold boot protocol. Preload your willpower muscle with a 2-minute resistance ritual before you start. Dopamine forge. Wire pleasure to effort itself, not after it. Difficulty scaling. Always play at your edge. Adapt and ascend. Now here's your challenge. Drop 1 cold boot ritual in the comments that you'll start tomorrow. Not a big goal. Just 2 minutes. Cold water. Push-ups. Whatever wakes up your aMCC. Let's build the willpower muscle together. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You were just running the wrong operating system. Now you have the cheat code. The only question is, will you run it?